Hello, hello, hello. Welcome or welcome back to My Piece is Priceless. Hope you all are having an amazing day today. So, as you can see, your girl has gotten herself in some debt. But you would think that I would be sad. But I'm not. This is actually what I like to call happy debt. It was debt that I accumulated for a specific reason. I had to use a combination of two cards in order to do what was needed. But in the long run, currently and in the long run, this debt is for a positive purpose. It was nothing frivolous. I just wasn't racking up unnecessary charges and purchasing unnecessary items or anything like that. So I don't feel bad or beat myself up about it, although, the goal is to, not get in debt. But at the time, I didn't have the actual funds on hand to pay in cash. And so this is the decision that I made. And I'm perfectly all right with it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you all the total amount amongst the two cards that I've accumulated in debt, and the method in which I'm going to use to pay it down. And one other thing I'll share, but I'll discuss that as I do the breakdown. So first off, my total debt, and I'm just gonna have my scratch paper. So I'm gonna tilt my paper. The 2024 debt is a total of, I don't know if you all can see that, but I'm gonna talk it out if you can't see it. This is just my scratch paper as I'm talking it out. So again, the total that I've accumulated in debt is $8,424.34 stinking cents. Again, this is across two credit cards, and the two cards that we're going to discuss, the first one is the Citi Diamond Preferred card, and that total is $2,993.54 funky cents. Next is my Discover card, and that amount is $5,430.85 measly cents. I like whole numbers, so I always mess around when there's cents at the end of an amount. So again, these two amounts total up to $8,424.34. I had mentioned in previous videos in 2023? If it wasn't in 2023, 2022, in one of my debt videos, I stated, actually, not even that far back, I know I mentioned it last year in 2023, that a method that I used in the past when I accumulated credit card debt was balance transfers. I thoroughly recommend balance transfers to anybody that has accumulated credit card debt and they have another card or several other cards that offer the 0 promotional rate for any balance transfers. If you ever come across that, I highly recommend that you do that so that you can just focus on clearing up your actual debt and not having any interest applied to it monthly. Because who wants to shell out any unnecessary additional money, right? You just want to focus on the true debt that you owe. So I was able to do a balance transfer. Actually, these are not the cards that I made the purchases originally. These are the cards that I transferred utilizing the 0% APR promotional period. So I didn't bother discussing which cards did I actually charge and then transferring over. I'm just letting you guys know that I charged 2 other cards to these 2 cards because they both was offering a the balance transfer for the 0%. Actually, one did, but I'll get into that in a few minutes. So yes, so with that being said, I racked up the charges. I did, and I made the balance transfers. So we're going to discuss the first amount first, which is the Citibank Diamond Preferred for $2,993.54. The promotional rate is 0% APR, which is annual percentage rate. Each billing cycle, if you carry over a balance, they're going to normally, whatever your credit card APR rate is upon opening the account, that's what they would charge you in addition to whatever balance you're carrying over. So that would be like 29.99, 15.95, 9.99 APR. But throughout this promotional period, I have a 0% APR. And I have up until December 13th, 2024 to pay off the first balance of $2,993.54. So that's great. And now for the Discover card, I did have the option to select the 0% APR, but because this amount is basically twice as much as the Citi card balance, I felt I wanted to give myself a little bit more time to pay off this amount because, at the end of the day, I have my monthly expenses that I have to take care of and, other obligations as well. So I didn't want to be stressed about trying to pay back both amounts in a short time frame. So instead of opting for the 0% APR, I chose for the second card, I did a 0.99% APR. And that allows me to pay off the $5,430.85 until May 1st of 2025. So, I'm like, it's less. That's almost 0%. I can deal with that, and each payment that you make towards, decreasing your balance, the APR is not going to be the same. So they're not. So for instance, if next month when I get my billing statement, they say $20 in additional interest is charged for the APR. The following month, the next month, it won't be $20. It may be $17 because as your balance decreases, the interest rate and decrease. Did I say that right? As your balance decreases, the APR that they're going to tack onto it will decrease as well. So I said, I can deal with 0.99% APR as opposed to what the original APR was to the card that I originally swiped, which I want to say was like, it was between 25 and 29.99% APR. which is extremely high. And the reason for that is because when I initially applied for the card, my credit was in horrible shape, so they was like, yeah, we'll give you some credit, but you're gonna get some high ass interest rate. So, but nevertheless, I wasn't worried about it because I knew that I'm the type of person, outside of this debt, when I use my card, I try to pay it off within that month, in full. So when I swipe a card, I usually have at minimum half of what the purchase is. So if I swipe something and it's $100, I pretty much, if I don't have the whole 100, I have $50 to immediately pay the card off. So I don't mess with interest. I hate paying additional interest. All right. What else I want to talk about? All right. So now that we know how much the debt is, and that I was able to transfer both amounts to cards that offered me a balance transfer of 0 and 0.99 APR, I'm going to discuss the method in which I'm going to pay these cards off. I'm going to use the Dave Ramsey snowball effect approach. And for those of you all that have not heard about that method, is you're going to pay down aggressively on the lowest amount first and just pay the minimum amount on the other balances that you may have. And then once you clear the smallest amount up, that money that you was applying to that card, you tack on to the next card that you want to start paying off of. So that is the method in which I'm going to use. And also, my goal is, I'm definitely going to make my monthly payments to each card, but my goal is to technically make 2 payments per month. So each time I get paid, if I don't actually make the payment, I'll put money aside each check, and just at the end of, I'll just make 1 payment for the month, or I may do it twice a month. I'll see. I don't know. But the other thing that I want to do is, so for example, if the minimum amount that I have to pay for the city card, right, which is $2,993.54. If the minimum monthly balance that I have to pay is, let's say, $50, I'm not going to just pay $50, right? Because I'm trying to pay this down within the promotional time frame by December or before. So that means I have to pay more than $50. So I'm going to always put at least 2 times to 3 times more of what the minimum requirement is. So instead of $50, it'll be either $100 or $150. Now these are just example amounts, because I don't know what my monthly minimum balance will be, because I just did the transfers. So I will get my monthly statement towards the end of this month for March. All right. So at that time, then I'll know exactly how much I'll be able to put towards. And again, it might fluctuate because I may have more cash to put towards it after I pay all my monthly bills and other obligations. So I'm going to document this with you all, so you'll see the amounts that I put towards it. I don't, so this will probably be a monthly video. So I can show you all my progress. So with that being said, with the second amount of the $5,430, following the Dave Ramsey snowball effect, I'm just going to pay whatever the minimum balance is at that time. So again, just for simple math, I'll use $50. So if the minimum balance is $50, that's all I'm going to put towards that card, because I'm focusing primarily on this small amount. try to get it out the way as soon as possible. Once I pay off the smaller amount, all of this money, the minimum balance plus the additional monies that I'm going to add on to it, I'm then going to tack on to the minimum amount of the next card. So let's just say, again, for simple math, if I was doing $150 a month and I've already been doing $50 for this card, I'm now going to be throwing $200 per check. Per paycheck to this card. So hopefully that would be $400 actually a month, because I'm going to try to make put money towards this every paycheck, and I get paid twice a month. So that is all. Again, like I said, ideally I would have preferred not to have used my cards, but it is what it is. Like I said, it's happy debt, because in the long run, what I utilize the money for is going to benefit me. So I'm okay with it. I'm just going to focus on trying to knock down this debt as quickly as possible so I can move on to other things. So this money could be allocated towards my savings and or investments or things like that. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you will stick around and stay tuned for this debt payoff journey for 2024. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to hear about any debt that you all have acquired and the methods in which you're going to tackle that. Actually, this is a fun fact. The fun fact is that this debt wasn't acquired in 2024. I charged these cards in the fourth quarter of 2023, mid-November, and I was paying, on the balances monthly as normally, but I was waiting for the opportunity for the balance transfers to come in, because I knew that once I did get some offers, I was going to do the balance transfers. And so literally earlier today, and that's why I'm recording this video now instead of doing it a little earlier. So earlier today, I did the balance transfers. And so I jumped on the video to share this all with you. So again, I hope you come along with me on this new 2024 debt journey. Again, it's happy debt for me, because I truly know that this is going to benefit me in the long run. And so with that, I am okay with acquiring this debt. But until then, I hope you all have an amazing day. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you all to see what debt, if any, that you have acquired and how you're going to chomp away at that. Until next time, you know what to do. Continue budgeting. Later.